Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our new podcast. We have a very special friend invited today. He is a colleague of ours outside in another university, in a university in Turkey, in Ankara. It's about Dr. MUHITTIN फ़AHIN. He is a professor there in the University of, and I will let you tell us about from what university do you come and what do you teach about.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I'm really glad to be here. I'm teaching at the University of Ufuk University in Ankara, and I'm the faculty member of that in that university in the department at the Faculty of Education. At the Faculty of Education, I'm teaching especially the sociology of education, philosophy of education, and also Turkish educational history. And the semester, I'm also giving lectures on gender equality. The sociology, especially I'm interested in the sociology of education because we are living in a society, and as human beings we are constantly interacting each other. We are learning continuously and we are teaching continuously. We are actually learning how to be a human being. That's why I'm especially interested in informal learning in the society while we are experiencing something.
Okay, thank you very much. So you come with a background and research in sciences of education, yes? And do you also do research on these topics, like you publish papers?
For a long time, I have been I have been carrying out research on masculinity, especially masculinity, but how we learn masculinity. This was actually my PhD dissertation thesis. While in those years, I had a question in my mind. I had some problems with my masculinity behaviors because the society wants me to be some kind of man, but I do not fit their profile. What was happening with me? I questioned all the time, and that's why I go to the field. I went to the field, and in the field, I tried to learn experiences of other men. How do they learn masculinity? And I compare those masculinities with my masculinity. So this is learning. This is something learned. We are not born with masculinity, but we are learning it continuously during life experiences. That was my main interest area. I did my first research during my PhD dissertation. Then I published a book about the transformation of masculinities in Turkey. I researched the educational practices in Turkey, the practices to transform and change the masculinity behaviors in Turkey. There are lots of foundations, lots of initiatives of the groups. I examined especially their stuffs, I examined what they are doing in order to transform the society, in order to create a better society in the future. And all of these activities paid attention to especially education, learning. That's what I'm researching on masculinity especially. And these days we are planning planning to carry out any research with my research assistants. We are very wondering about what's happening about effects of gender norms and values on especially academic couples, their mental health, how they are shaped. We are starting a new project, this project. I hope we will succeed in it. And during these days, especially for about 2 or 3 months, with a cooperation with Hacı Bayram Veli University in Ankara, we are conducting a new research on especially African-originated students studying their university classes in Ankara. You know that in Turkey there isn't much African-originated inhabitants, but they are coming to study university. But we wonder about what kind of communication problems they are experiencing in Ankara, and what kind of cultural conflicts they encounter. We try to examine these kinds of things. Our main aim is to learn their problems and what they are doing in Turkey, and provide them a better life area in Ankara, especially in Turkey. Now we are carrying out this kind of projects, but my acquaintance with masculinity began in 2014. From those time until today, it's my main interest area. But in all of this researches, I'm especially paying attention to learning, because everywhere is learning environments. As I am a sociologist of education, the learning part is very important for me. Today, in the classroom here in Constanta Maritime University, I'm also underlying the learning part of masculinity.
I wanted to say this to our viewers, that you are here today, here in Constanța, in our university, because you are traveling, you came through a Erasmus mobility program, and we are very happy to have you here and our students to learn about education from your side, your perspective. Just tell me whether this is your first Erasmus mobility or you had others, and how is it to be in an Erasmus mobility?
Yeah, it's a very exciting experience, I think. This is my first time. This is my first time in participating this kind of mobility. I came here in Romania 2 days ago. I see around there and historical buildings, different culture. I'm learning still here, and I'm very excited to meet your students in the classroom. I especially want to connect to them. Connection is very important. Connection people who has different cultural realities is very important, because while I'm here, I'm going to learn from your students and from you, from the other colleagues here, and they will learn maybe something from me. This is very important. So mobility activities are very important in order to learn different cultures. Seeing different learning environments is very crucial, I think. That's why I'm very glad to be here, and I will continue to explore what's going to happen during this mobility. You know that I'm going to be here for 5 days, and there are lots of things to explore. I'm in the beginning. This is the first day of this mobility. I'm wondering about what's going to happen, but very, very magnificent and nice things will happen. I'm sure about it. You welcomed me very nice, and the Romanian people are very helpful. You know that I'm here alone. While wandering around, I saw a very nice building, for example, historical building. Yeah, I'm photographing the building myself, but I'm not in that photograph. I'm asking anyone, and they are photographed me, took my photos, and also I want only one photograph, but they look around and please stand there, and I would like a photograph of you here. So they're very helpful. I really like Romania, for example, and this is my first time, but will not be last time. Next year, I'm again planning to participate in this mobility activity.
That's great. We also had a conference, an international conference last year in September. About mentoring programs and how mentoring is advancing. It's helping academic staff to advance, considering also aspects about gender equality. And maybe we will do this kind of events in the future. And you are invited as
I will really very happy to be here.
I want to ask you. Here you will have a teaching session, and you will have some courses prepared. Can you tell us what will you teach about in this mobility?
Yes, in this mobility, I'm going to teach about masculinity, especially not only masculinity, but also the relationship between masculinity and men's mental health. Because I choose this topic, especially because many men are not aware of the fact that they are trapped by the social expectations. They are suffering from depression, stress, and any other things. And especially in all over the world, there is a silent crisis. Men are very silent about their problems, about the difficulties they are experiencing. That's why making connection between masculinity, especially hegemonic masculinity, which one is more rewarded in the society especially, and the mental health problems is my main talking issue here. And I will make connections with the volunteering, this masculinity issue. In order to have a better society, we have to transform the masculinities in a society. How can we be successful in this issue? Of course, volunteering activities attach great importance here. For example, I'm going to mention about an instance, a photograph exhibition instance in Turkey. It has had a huge impact on society. I'm going to mention about it, and also while I'm talking about volunteering, I'm planning to talk about one of my experiences 2 years ago I experienced. I was on a holiday, and while having fun during my holiday, a job offer I took. Free accommodation, free breakfast, everything was free, and they wanted me to work only 3 hours in a day. In their hotel, vocation-minded volunteerism. One of them is benefit for others. One of them is benefit to the volunteers. So I want to contrast two different volunteering activities and what the volunteering actually means. I want to discuss with your students here. These are my 2 topics.
Thank you very much. They sound really, really useful and amazing. We have a league of students, we call it, a structure in the university that encourages volunteering, and actually it's based on students becoming volunteers and organizing different very nice projects. Like some of them are like organizing events, others are like going in caravans to promote our university and meet different high school students and making connections, and this is wonderful. Others are charity related, like sometimes around specific holidays they go in centers with old people or children, and it's very nice to have this kind of wonderful events. Yes. And I'm very sure the message that you will send to the students would be very, very well received.
And I'm eager to hear your students' experiences while they are volunteering.
Yes, would be.
I hope there will be huge interaction between your students and me. It's very crucial. Interaction, connecting.
For sure, yes. Let me ask you about the book you said you published, a book based on your PhD findings. And you say you focused on understanding, making a research, assessing and understanding masculinity, maybe across time, across historical periods, or in a specific way?
No, in a specific time. In a specific time. As I mentioned in my book, I'm discussing about the transformation of masculinity in Turkey, especially the initiatives which are trying to transform and change the masculinity behaviors, norms in Turkey. At a specific time, not historical, but at a specific time, I found three very important initiatives. One of them was the photograph exhibition, and the other one, people men get together and discuss about their problems in a hotel, maybe during a week, and they're talking everything related to men. And are we happy with these things? They're asking this question to themselves. It's very effective. Photograph exhibition is very effective. And the third initiative is the protests and initiatives of gay and lesbian people. Unfortunately, because of heteronormativity in traditional societies, especially in Turkey, maybe in Romania too, I don't know, but heteronormativity avoids the effects of gay and lesbians activities in the society, because people build a huge wall in front of their activities. But in the photograph exhibition and in other initiative, they are mostly heterosexual. They do not mention. They mention about, of course, sexuality, different sexualities, but they do not concentrate on different sexualities. That's why the society, the members of the society, are eager to listen to their sayings. That's why they are more effective in the society. Yes, we try to transform the society in order to have a better society, but traditional still continues, and people close their hearings to different sexualities, maybe. The findings are very interesting. Yes, change and transformation is possible, but needs a lot of time. Yes. Even a small stone has a benefits for changing, but needs lots of time.
Yes, I understand. We did some research here in the university about seafaring career and what happens with seafarers that are on board vessel. Like how would they mitigate the fact that they have to stay in a closed environment, in a closed space for a long period of time. Yes. And reality shows that they are mostly men. Although we do, and I am personally involved in empowering women to go on board vessel and have this job as seafarer, the reality shows that this is a male-dominated sector. Is not really so bad as well as far as women have equal opportunities and are not refused in employment. When this occurs, this is definitely an issue when they are refused. However, I see in the recent years that the situation improved a lot, and there are companies that ask us to suggest, to recommend women students to go on board vessel, and this is something good. However, I return to the reality, and there are crews of men staying inside in this closed environment. There are most often multinational there, some more nationals. And the positive aspect on this context is that they can learn from different cultures and particularities of nations. However, the less positive impact would be that they need to meet to cope with each other. And we observe in the onshore society that conflicts occur, especially when there are strong personalities and conflicts occur. And when this situation also occur in the closed environment of the vessel, then the dimension of this conflict can have another impact. So I believe your observation based on masculinity, and in order to understand better the behavior and also the expectation of the other, the outer society, but also the needs of the human being, the male. Obviously, we can after that extrapolate to women. And this is a separate research. Actually, I studied this, but focused on the equal opportunities for employment. Okay, we can. I guess the crewing agencies, so the companies that employ seafarer, recruit and employ, can learn from some aspects that you identified in your research and in your studies. I think a particular aspect here which is worth discussing would be the impact of pandemic on the males, not just the males, on the seafarers anyway, that had to stay much longer on board vessel. Like some of them stayed for 1 year in the same vessel because they were not allowed to go on shore. So I do believe, I don't have some statistics on that, but I do believe staying inside this closed environment with the same people all the time, and I don't know, maybe sometimes having some work conflicts or not, would bring a huge impact on the seafarer. And therefore, I think it's good to see some ways that we, the academic space, the academic institution, can help our students in order to be aware on what they can do in order to avoid any insatisfactions brought by this job. This is a very useful job, and all items that we use are most probably brought by ships. So maritime transport is very important for any type of sector.
Yes.
However, let's see how the findings that you identify in your research and your studies can help the work of people in this closed cruise on long period of time.
Yes. Before coming here, I thought about the masculine behaviors of seafarers. Imagine that a crew, especially dominated by males in that crew, they are in a ship for a long time, and the sea is very rigid. So they have a struggle with the sea, with the hardships in the ship. So the character of the sea, the rigid character of the sea, becomes the character of the crew on the ship. They have to cooperate each other. I wonder about, is there any competitiveness in the on a ship among the crew? If there is competitiveness, if there is competitive environment on a ship, it is very dangerous, for example, because in a competitive area, unfortunately, people cannot talk very well. They cannot express themselves in a very genuine way. This is very dangerous for the people. So in order to transform the masculinity, especially we are waging war against competitive environments. If there is a competitive environment on a ship, this is very dangerous. I would like to hear the experiences, the competitiveness, or if there is no, I would like to hear these experiences from your students. Then I'm going to make my suggestions about this issue. But the masculinity dominates on the ships. Now I can remember a saying in Turkey. I do not know if all over the world it has a validity or not. Especially around the Black Sea region in Turkey, people say that there should be no woman on ships.
It's
They
bad luck.
gives unlucky,
Bad luck,
unluckiness.
yes, I studied, and it's also in Great Britain history and etc. However, another interesting subject to discuss would be what I had my own observation on masculinity in female seafarers. So, in order to cope with that closed and rigid, as you say, environment, they need to transform. Or else they would need to have some partners there in order to a colleague or something in order to express themselves or to say anything that bothers them in order to.
Christina, you touched a very important point. Masculinity is not about men. It's about a performance. That's why there are a lot of women who are performing masculinity. So, in this on a ship, if there is a female participants in the crew, they are learning masculinity and they are behaving in the same direction with masculinity behaviors. But this masculinity can be very dangerous because this kind of masculinity is hegemonic. And this kind of masculinity may lead people bullying other people. It's very dangerous. Female masculine workers on a ship. You touched a very important point because masculinity, we are not born with masculinity, but we are learning during our interactions. So, if a woman wants to be on a ship, as a member of that crew, she has to learn masculinity in order to be accepted by that male-dominated crew, and also there's a competitiveness in order to get a status in the crew. They should perform some kind of masculinity, but this is very dangerous. We need to transform the masculinities in everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, it's interesting to see where are the boundaries when masculinity is dangerous and when it's a safe environment to live masculinity as it is, like it's natural for.
Hegemonic masculinity. For example, a researcher, Rowley Connell, maybe you heard about her. She is carrying out her research in Australia, and she created masterpieces about masculinity. She mentions about a hierarchy, masculinity hierarchy. The society wants hegemonic masculinity. Yes, it is good. We are not waging war against hegemonic masculinity, but hegemonic masculinity also leads people to be isolated. They are constantly feel themselves in control. but these things are very dangerous for our mental health. We need to change hegemonic masculinity to inclusive masculinity. If we do not change, this hegemonic masculinity may turn in toxic masculinity. Especially when people mention about toxic masculinity, they're talking about violence against women and other masculinities. But it's a possibility. All hegemonic masculinities are not turning into a toxic masculinity, but hegemonic masculinity, first of all, gives harm to human being himself, the performer. That's why it is very dangerous. In order, except for hegemonic masculinity, the world tries to go inclusive masculinity. Inclusive masculinity, anyone who is performing inclusive masculinity may express themselves very well. They show their inner world. They show their weaknesses other people. They are not afraid of showing their weaknesses. But in especially traditional societies, showing weakness is very dangerous. And hegemonic masculinity is against showing weaknesses, showing emotions. That's why it is dangerous. We may teach people, socialize people in an environment they can share their experiences, their emotions. That is the most important point, I think. So there's a border, yes, but still researchers are discussing about the borders. The most important part is not to turn into not to turn it into a toxic masculinity, because it's very dangerous. It is very dangerous because it gives harm other people in toxic masculinity.
How do you think a university, an institution of education, not only university, maybe high school or other level of education, can apply some of the things that you said, like maybe take some action in order to avoid or to limit or to analyze whether this kind of toxic masculinity can occur in classrooms, like when bullies appear? How exactly an educational institution should proceed?
The current position of education is not very nice in all over the world, but educating people from very lower ages, education is necessary. People actually practice what they see in their houses. So the roles of mothers and fathers are very important. If mother and father quarrel each other continuously, and if there is violence in their houses, they practice the same thing in the classroom environment, because this is the second house of the children. They are practicing bullying and giving harm to other people. So in order to diminish this kind of things in the country, first of all, education in the family. The family education should be given from organizations, huge organizations, maybe governments, by governments. It's necessary. And at school, of course, the teacher's position is very important. Teacher should be a guidance to students, not giving all exact truths. This kind of education is called as student-centered education. If we create student-centered classrooms, everybody can express themselves freely without judgments. Judgment is not a thing wanted. We should create student-centered classrooms, and then, of course, in the beginning, this will not be easy. After the classroom, if there is a student-centered classroom, students will feel himself or herself to express himself or herself, will feel free. But after the classroom, after the teacher leaves the classroom, there may be bullying because what he or she said in the classroom. In the beginning, yes, it is dangerous. It's not easy, but in time, when it becomes the culture of the classroom, people will learn how to react to each other's experiences in a very soft way. That's why mutually affirming relationships are very important. The education, we as instructors, from the beginning until the end of life, every time we have guidance in front of us. Sometimes this can be mothers, fathers, sometimes neighbors, and sometimes teachers, and at universities, lecturers are all our guidance. They should create some kind of comfortable atmosphere in the classrooms, and comfortable atmospheres can be created by only creating student-centered classrooms and interaction. We need to understand each other. We need to teach our students to understand each other. For example, I try to do this in my classrooms. Of course, in the beginning of my experience, sometimes people had conflicts because of different ideas. But in time, they start to learn to understand understanding the other is very important. This can become a culture. But again, it's not an easy thing, a very difficult process, I think.
Thank you. Let me ask you your opinion as a sociologist in your background. Okay, so not professor, but your background in sociology. About the following paradox. This is just in my mind. I might be wrong. Maybe you can provide me some feedback. In the educational field, I'm totally agreeing with you. We don't encourage any aggressiveness or bullies. We don't encourage them. We don't want them. As parents, again, we teach our students to understand each other, okay, and not to be aggressive. However, when the election time comes, I do believe the person that is most aggressive and most vocal would be heard and is most probably to be elected. Am I wrong on this, or is that true?
You may be right.
So is this a paradox? We want to have friendly children, however, we will choose the person that leads us and is most vocal.
Maybe you are right. We are affected from lots of things, from media, from actually we adore strength. Actually, that's why, yes, we do not want it in our private life, strength maybe, because in most aspects we have weaknesses, but when we see a very strong person in front of us, we adore it. We are loving strength. That may be a paradox, yes. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not mistaken, yeah. Because I observe in different countries, yes, this fact, and we will have soon
For example,
elections.
in Turkey, during the elections, people criticize some part, a part of the politics, criticize, but they elect him.
Yes.
Elect that party. This is a paradox. Continues to criticize.
And this has to do with masculinity also in politics?
In terms of politics, I mentioned, gave my I gave my example in terms of politics. But in terms of masculinity also, we adore strength. Imagine that there is a very calm listener guy in the classroom, and there is a guy who is staying at the back of classroom. He is aggressive. He is not aggressive. He is aggressive, but he is not. When it comes to choose a partner for girls, that aggressive one will be a better option. But then he commits some kind of violence against her. If she chose this calm guy, there might not be a violence. We choose him because we love strength. So this is a paradox. In our houses, we do not like quarrels, we do not like violence, aggressiveness, but aggressive men are more attractive. This is a paradox. I'm continuously talking with my students about this issue. Last week, my lecture topic was violence in terms of gender equality. And we could not reach a solution to this paradox. But there is a paradox. We love strength. We love strength. Even it gives us harm.
Tell me, please, we are closing to the end of our podcast. Tell me, please, a message that you would like to share to students from everywhere about what they should know, either about masculinity, either about mental health, either about volunteering. A message that is good for them, their health, to know.
My message to your students is that please do not hesitate to connect other people. Connect them and try to understand them. It's the motto of life. Connecting and understanding other people is very nice and enjoyable. Be sure that you are going to be more happier, healthier, and you learn how to laugh. Laughing is very nice.
Thank you very much, Dr. MUHITTIN. It was very interesting discussion, and we are glad you have the opportunity to visit us through this Erasmus Mobility. However, we are open to research projects and other lecturers from your institution, so just enjoy your staying here.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be invited to your podcast program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.